Here's a quick update for your weather across North America. We're going to take a look at the much advertised really cold air masses that we're going to deal with. The warm-up next week isn't going to be too long-lived, so let's get right into it. Across the United States, we don't have much going on. We have those residual flash flood flood warnings across Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, and we have that snowstorm that's wanded down here in Texas and New Mexico, where we saw anywhere from 5-10 inches, a couple inches near Midland, Odessa. But it's as you go towards the Mexican-United States border, that's where the highest snow totals are, up to a foot in southern New Mexico and southwestern Texas here. As for the rest of the country, we're not looking at much. We have a streamer coming off into Oswego County off the east end of Lake Ontario, so that is prompting lake effect snow advisories and whatnot, 2 to 5 inches of additional accumulation up towards Watertown. So, in Lewis County up here, Jefferson County. So, let's take a look at what we have for liquid precipitation. Most of it will be along the Gulf Coast here with this the jet stream will be down here, the subtropical jet. Weather hazards across the, up here in the northwest, we'll get a little bit with a storm system. But here in the southern states here, we have fog and we have some light flurries here in Texas. Up here in the northeast we have the snow, and here in the northwest we'll be getting that system moving in with possibly up to a quarter, half an inch of rain. So let's take a look at a system, a weak system, a short wave we'll call it, as it moves up the east coast this weekend, Saturday night, Sunday. This is so weak it can't even be classified as a system, but it will move up along the coast and spread up to maybe a quarter to a half an inch of widespread light snow accumulations. A little bit inland here in the Catskills, Poconos up through the White Mountains, and a little bit along the coast, maybe up to an inch in the highest elevation, but we're not looking at too much from that. So let's take a look at what we have going on. Everyone is very interested in this warm-up and then the major cold down, the deep freeze as we'll call it, that will result from a number of pattern changes here in the North Pole. So let's take a look at what we have here. We have the pattern changes. You can see the ridge here in the east. This is next week, middle to latter portion of next week. You can see the ridge, and we really start to get a trough out here out west. But that's going to start changing. This trough is going to start moving east here, and as you can see, we're going to see this warm temperature, 60 degrees all the way up to the nation's capital, starting next week. And then you can see conditions really start to deteriorate here across the Rockies. This is where we start getting the -20, -30 degree readings pretty quickly here, and then that starts to pull eastward here. And we're going to continue to see that system, this whole entire complex. We're going to see a positive, very positive oscillation here in the North Pacific, which we did not see in December, even though we had some snowstorms, and a very negative NAO here in the east. Let's take a look at the NAO index. It's going towards 0, but look at the long term here. Models are falling it over a cliff. Some models are taking it as low as -4 by January 25th. So here is a similar map to what I showed yesterday. We're going to look at most of North America here. The jet stream is going to be way up in Alaska. This is for the 3rd week of January, January 15th onward. And then this very deep trough will carve out across the Rockies. Now, I've been getting some questions from people along the West Coast. Is it going to get really cold for you too? And it looks like the answer is yes. It looks like a lot of this cold air will bleed. It won't bleed all the way to the coastline, but anywhere, especially east of the mountains here, the Cascades and the Sierra Nevada, that is where we're really going to see some very cold air. And even as far west as maybe Portland or Medford, much below normal temperatures. And that cold air is going to bleed all the way down to the Mexican border. Along the Gulf Coast, we could be seeing highs barely getting to 32 degrees. And you see this 10 to 15 degree air across the Tennessee River Valley up and through the Carolinas, and 20 degrees, possibly 25 as far south as Atlanta, Georgia. And this up here across the plains, -30, -40. This is dangerously cold up here in Minnesota and extending down in through the Great Lakes and heading on into the northeast here. This is where we could see -10, -20 degree readings with highs near or below 0. at many portions of the week, the third week, fourth week of January. So that's what we're looking at. This is a really conducive jet stream too for East Coast snowstorms. So we'll wait and see just how much. Models are much better at predicting temperatures than they are snowstorms this far out. So we're not going to even get into snowstorms yet, because the temperatures, we want to get the temperatures down before we get any possible systems that could develop along the Gulf Coast and move up the East Coast. I'm meteorologist Mark Molnar. Like us on Facebook at MeteoMark. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Here's a 4-day forecast for my hometown viewers from Binghamton to Elmira and the northern tier counties of Pennsylvania.